Hey guys, um, Starshine here. Um, Now, to my subscribers that have been here for a very long time, I know this is highly unlike me to just record a video where I'm not doing a speed paint or voice acting or cosplay and just being myself. But I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately since it's been the summer, and whenever I'm not working, I am binge watching YouTube videos. And I've realized a lot of people have been doing coming out videos, whether they be famous or not. And I decided I should come out because, one, some of my viewers may not have wanted to watch my I am video, in which that it says I am homosexual in bright rainbow letters. Two, because I have family and people who may know me out there as other names or another person who may not know this about me. Now, throughout childhood and throughout everything, girls and guys alike, and even those who are born in a different body that they don't see themselves belonging in, go through so many changes in their mind and in their body and in the world around them that sometimes they lose themselves, or they hide themselves so that they don't have to show themselves as this thing they are because they're afraid. Well, today I'm going to try and break that down because I'm sick and tired of hiding from certain family members and people who may know me and people who just don't know and then ask me things like, do you have a boyfriend? Or why did you break up with your ex? Or things like that. Well, I'm gay. Now, I know to some of you this may not be a shock, especially if you watched half of my videos, but to some of you it may be. I have family members out there who don't know. I have people out there who have known me in the past who don't know. But most of all, most of them don't know the story and the struggle that I went through for years on end to accept myself as what I am. Well, let's start at the beginning. I was born and raised a Christian. Like, I was baptized in a church as a child. I went to Sunday school and to church on Sundays with my grandmother and went to Christmas pageants and Christmas celebrations in church, Easter celebrations in church, learned through the Bible when I was younger, went to Bible camp for years and years, and throughout those years I learned through, whether it be priests or people around me who went to church, that being gay is wrong, that being gay is a sin, that God will hate you if you're gay, that you'll go to hell. Throughout the years, I grew up believing that, being brainwashed and pushing down whatever I felt. Because for a while when I was younger, I didn't know what gay meant. I just thought, okay, it's a sin. And then eventually I learned what it was, and I was like, okay, whatever. That's fine. I'll just not be that way, and I'll go to heaven, right? Well, elementary school was an interesting time. I was a young, pretty bright and happy child. I made people smile and laugh. I was pretty outgoing for a while. I stood up for people that I cared for. I now realize that a lot of them tried to push me away a lot because I probably annoyed them because of how hyperactive I was. Now I know that's attributed to ADD that went undiagnosed for years. But, I went through middle school, not middle school, elementary school, being fine and dandy. I actually made friends with the teachers and the nurse more than I did with kids my actual age a lot of the time. I made acquaintances, but those friendships never really were true friendships. They were just one of those classroom friendships that you make for a while and that eventually end up fizzling out because they never actually had the foundation to last. Either way, I never really bothered with boys, even though a lot of girls my age already were. They were already learning that they're supposed to get a boyfriend and hold hands with them and kiss them and all that fun stuff. I only made friends with guys. Like, I had a couple of guy friends. I mainly had girlfriends, but I had a couple of guy friends. Well, elementary school came and went. I made one best friend named Evelyn, who literally became my rock, and she still is today. Thank God I have her, or else half the stuff that I've been going through I wouldn't have been able to make it. Elementary school came and went. Why do I keep going to middle school? And I never really had a boyfriend. I never really had a playground romance. I guess I had a couple of guys who did have crushes on me or whatever, those child definitions of crushes where they would pick on you or pull your hair because they liked you or something like that. And I was like, ew, boys are gross. Middle school rolled around in 6th grade. I was still kind of outgoing, still really kind of childish, but starting to mature at a much faster rate than some of the kids in my class, even though it didn't seem it. I never got a boyfriend during 6th grade, or had any romantic interests in any of the guys in my class in 6th grade, and I was like, okay, even though my friends are getting boyfriends, it's fine. I'll be fine. I'll get a boyfriend someday, maybe, right? I mean, that's what's supposed to happen. Middle school, you're supposed to find a boyfriend that will swipe you off your feet and make you feel like everything, right? And so, 6th grade came and went. I made friends, lost friends, made acquaintances that budded into friendships, such as my friend Olivia, who I met, never really got to know very well, but then got to know a lot better in 7th grade, and I thank God for her every day. 7th grade came along, and I still didn't like any of the guys. I didn't like any guys, actually. But something that year happened. Like, I was over my friend Evelyn's house. I'm sorry, Mom and Dad, I never told you any of this. I really hope you don't get mad at Evelyn. But I was at Evelyn's house. We were both two 7th grader girls, best friends till, like, the end, like this, and we still are today, and I'm so happy about it. I was over her house, and we decided to try and play 7 Minutes in Heaven, even though there was only 2 of us, and we were like, this isn't weird, we're friends. We didn't know how to kiss, so we had to look it up on the internet like most little kids do, or 7th grade middle schoolers do, because they're like, what's romance? I don't know. She kissed me that night. We were both really nervous and shaking and all of that, but she kissed me that night, and it was pretty cool. I liked it. But then I realized later that night, oh God, I liked it. This isn't supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be straight, or else I'll go to hell. And that fear rose up in me, and I just suppressed any feelings that I had for her. And now I realized when I was self-discovering, I had a crush on my best friend, who was a girl. And this was the first homosexual experience that I ever had in my life, and I was like, shit, man, oh my God. But after that, I just sort of suppressed those feelings, and I was like, I'm not supposed to feel like this, okay. I'll be fine. God forgives all, right? Jesus forgives all. He's always with you, and he doesn't care, right? My friend Olivia heard of it, and she was like, or they were like, "Are you sure you weren't bi-curious?" And I was like, "No, I'm straight. I'm totally straight. I don't like girls. I don't like girls. I'm straight." Because I was afraid of going to hell. I was afraid of being rejected. Because a lot of people had been talking bad about her, even though I got really angry at them because of her sexuality and, well, their sexuality and how they feel. 7th grade came and went with little to no problems then. 8th grade was when everything went to crap. I got told to shut up to my face, and then I just started receding back more and more after that day, and eventually developed social anxieties and depression. Well, that just sort of popped out. Anxiety because of stress. And I was like, 8th grade, I have to get a boyfriend, right? I have to get a boyfriend. This has to be it. I have to have a boyfriend going into high school. This is what all the high schoolers do, right? Well, as middle school, as 8th grade went on, I started to get close with my friend Erin, and eventually we ended up trying the whole dating thing. We dated for about a year, and I realized something didn't feel right. Whenever he kissed me, it never actually felt right to me. I don't know why, and I felt really bad about it. Whenever he held my hand, I never felt right about it. Whenever he got close to me, I never felt right about it. Nothing felt right about dating him, and I didn't know why. I was like, aren't I supposed to love him? Don't I love him? Why do I feel like he's more like a brother to me than an actual, like, boyfriend? And then eventually, it hit me. I like girls. I mean, I guess I like guys too, but I like girls. And so, I ended up falling for this friend I had over the internet who lived in, like, Illinois. And that was that. I ended up breaking it off with him and ended up trying to date her, and she kept turning me down, which I guess is alright, because in the end I wouldn't have been able to date my current girlfriend if I was dating her. I fell in love with this girl, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm bisexual, and I came out to my parents as that, and they were perfectly fine with it. Well, my mom seemed a bit off about it, but my dad was perfectly fine with it. But he grew up in a really accepting Christian family, and my mom grew up in a not so accepting, sort of conservative Christian family. I don't know. Eventually, I fell for my current girlfriend and asked her out by singing her a song over Skype. But her birthday came and went, and I wanted to send her a gift. And so I asked my dad, because I didn't have my job yet, if I could. And he said, all right, but I have to know, is this a friend or more than a friend? I got a bit nervous. I mean, I knew he would have accepted me either way, and I knew he would love me still. Because he accepted me as bisexual at first, and I was like, okay. So, he and my mom had no idea I was dating my current girlfriend at the time. And we had only been dating for about 4.5, 5 months. We started talking, and I was like, well, Dad, I've been dating this girl for about 5 months now, and I want to send her a gift for her birthday. And he was like, okay, but I want to know, what are you? And so I looked to him, and I said, Dad, I think I'm gay. So he glanced to me and then looked back to the road, and he said, oh, I knew. And I was like, wait, what do you mean you knew? And he was like, I knew it all along. I kind of figured. I mean, you've always hung around girls and you've always been more close to girls than guys, and your ex-boyfriend was kind of girly. And when we got home, I told my mom, and she ended up crying because she was a bit taken aback herself. And eventually I think she came to terms with it, because she never got mad and never yelled at me about it or treated me any different. She accepted me, and so did my dad, and that was the biggest thing that I could ever wish for in my life, because for years I was so scared. I hid the fact that I was scared of being gay for years. I erased myself and hid myself from who I truly was, from the people who I knew before I did. I blocked it out, and I finally come to terms with the fact that I'm gay. And I'm so happy that I have people who actually accept me, and parents who are still loving and caring as ever. Because I had heard so many horror stories of parents who just passed it off or didn't believe their child and said that they were crazy and sent them to reformation camps. And kids who had been kicked out of their house because they were gay. It just... They accepted me. And they accepted the fact that I have a girlfriend who I love and who I've been dating for almost a year and a half now. Parents who went out of their way, no matter how much stress it caused, to them to plan a trip so that I could go and finally see her in person for the first time in my life, so that I could hold her and hug her close. To have parents that don't care that I'm gay, but want to make sure that I'm happy with who I am. It just means a lot to me. And there are not enough parents out there who are accepting or caring, or that don't give a care in the world that their child is gay, as long as they're happy with who they are and what they are. And I think I'm just so lucky to have parents who care so much about me and that love me enough to not pass it off as some sort of phase that I'm going through because I'm a teenage girl and I'm hormonal all the time and going through all sorts of changes. There are too many people out there, too many kids in the LGBTQ community that don't have parents or people that care enough about them to help them when they need it. Thankfully, I have friends and family members who accept me. And after years and years of struggling growing up gay and trying to hide the fact that I was gay for so long, I'm so glad that I was finally able to come to terms with who I really am. I'm so glad that I was finally able to accept who I am and what I am and who I love, what parts I do and don't love, what parts that I just kept hidden for so long.